In this course, we read works by Lawrence Lessig, Stanford Law professor, creator of the Creative Commons license, and advocate for free culture. He argued that there were 4 kinds of code that regulated behavior: law, norms, markets, and architecture. For example, clothing might be regulated in a number of ways. It is against the law to be completely nude in public, if you're an adult. However, social norms dictate what we wear, rather than hard and fast rules that subject us to fines or jail time. You wear an ugly sweater to an ugly sweater party because it is what others are doing, not because an officer will write you a ticket if you don't. Markets and architecture also play roles. High fashion with designer labels can be pricey, and companies sometimes cheap out by constructing clothing with cheap materials that forces you to buy frequently. In the same way, Lessig argues that intellectual property functions in a complex regulatory system with laws, norms, markets, and architecture. He argues that markets and norms are better ways to solve problems involving digital culture than laws that punish offenders or technologies that prohibit certain kinds of uses, like allowing videos from Europe to play on US machines. So why post your content on the internet? Some use it as part of an online portfolio that advertises competence. Others want to share to be part of a group or to promote a cause. Lessig argues that we are at a unique point in history. This is from Lessig's work. At the beginning of our history, and for just about the whole of our traditional, non-commercial culture was essentially unregulated. Of course, if your stories were lewd, or if your song disturbed the peace, then the law might intervene. But the law was never directly concerned with the creation or spread of this form of culture, and it left this culture free. The ordinary ways in which ordinary individuals shared and transformed their culture, telling stories, reenacting scenes from plays or TV, participating in fan clubs, sharing music, making tapes, were left alone by the law. The focus of the law was on commercial creativity. At first, slightly, then quite extensively, the law protected the incentives of creators by guaranteeing them exclusive rights to their creative work, so they could sell those exclusive rights in a commercial marketplace. This is also, of course, an important part of creativity and culture, and has become an increasingly important part in America. But in no sense was it dominant within our tradition. It was instead just one part, a controlled part, balanced with the free. This rough divide between the free and the controlled has now been erased. The internet has set the stage for this erasure, and pushed by big media, the law has now affected it. For the first time in our tradition, the ordinary ways in which individuals create and share culture fall within the reach of the regulation of the law, which is expanded to draw within its control a vast amount of culture and creativity that it never reached before. The technology that preserved the balance of our history between uses of our culture that were free and uses of our culture that were only upon permission has been undone. The consequence is that we are less and less a free culture, more and more a permission culture. Check out Creative Commons as a place where you can find different kinds of licenses for creative and scholarly work, and free and open content available for remixing.